Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Marlon from Fishing Addicts Northwest. I thought I'd bring you a little bead tutorial here. I know bead fishing's become very, very popular just in the last few years, and especially this year. I mean, I don't know a single guide on the river that isn't out there fishing beads. So I thought I'd teach you how I very first learned how to fish beads. I learned this fishing an eastern Washington river a really long time ago, and I thought I'd just, one of my friends taught me this, and I'm not sure how many people know how to do it. It's a very, very simple technique. And all you're going to do is basically fish a bead dropper off of a jig or a worm. So let me show you how that's done. Alright guys, so here we go. We got our jig, we got our hook, we got some 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. I really like this Seagar STS, awesome line. We got a bead, and then we got this little rubber bead stop that Brad's makes. One other little trick, you can also get this from the dollar store. They make these little plastic barbecue brushes. It's got a ton of these things on here. It's dang near the exact same thing. So, once you got your hook tied on there, this is an owner cutting point. What you're going to do is thread your bead through the leader material, just like that. And then you got this little rubber bead stop. Basically, it's got one side that's skinnier than the other. That's the side you're going to put in there. And just thread that into your bead hole. It goes through there pretty simple. And then you're just pulling that thing tight. And what that's doing is cinching down on your leader to keep that bead in the spot that you want it. Just pull it all the way through until you can't see the stop on the other side, and then basically you're just going to chop this off with a pair of scissors or some snips or something. There you go. Now you got your bead pegged on there, and the reason I really like these rubber things, these rubber stops, is it seems to not hurt your leader material at all, especially when you're using a fluorocarbon. These rubber stops are awesome. So then you pull that bead down. I like to be 3 fingers from the hook. I'm not sure, everyone's got their preference, I'm sure, but that's where I like to be. So you pull it down right there. And then what you're going to do is you take your other side of your leader and you want to go about 12 to 16 inches of leader material. So I'm going to do roughly 12. And all you're doing basically is you're increasing your catch rate here. You're increasing your odds of catching a fish by adding something else that they might want to take. So you got your jig here. All you're going to do is just tie your other end of your leader material onto the shank or the bend of the hook here on the jig. And I just do a real basic fisherman's knot, nothing special. I just wrap, 5 to 7 times somewhere in that zone, and then you're just going to put it right back through the loop. It's pretty simple. And then one thing with fluorocarbon, you want to make sure that you wet that, because it does have a tendency to burn itself. Make sure there's no rabbit hair stuck in there. Get that knot cinched down nice. And then you cut your tag end off. And there you go. You got your jig here. And then you got 12 inches hanging, dangling below that. You got your bead. So what I typically like to do is I'll have this jig, roughly 18 inches off the bottom, 16 to 18 inches. That way the steelhead can see that. And then guess what's about 4 inches off the bottom? Your bead floating around, dangling around down there, looking like it's going down the current perfectly. So that's the setup. Pretty simple. Alright guys, so here it is. That's it. You got your jig. And I know I said I had 12 inches, but this is probably about 16 or so. But 12 to 16 inches, somewhere in that zone, you can be pretty safe with. You just got your leader tied to that hook bend right there, and then below it's your bead. Just an extra little enticement in the river to add steelhead. Some of them aren't going to eat a jig, but they will eat a bead. Some of them ain't going to eat a bead, but they will eat a jig. So it's just a little extra thing that you can do when you're out there to try. We really appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you hit our subscribe button, and if you haven't checked out our website, it's fishingaddictsnorthwest.com. We'll see you on the river.